Math 1332, Chapter 3, Symbolic Logic, Section 1, Statements and Quantifiers, Video 6, Symbolic Notation. All right, time to get down to the symbols. And you may be wondering, why can't we just stick with words? I know it's a math class, but words are better than symbols in math. At least that's the perception some people have. But there's a reason why we use symbols in symbolic logic instead of just always using words. And it has to do with determining truth values. The problem with determining the truth values of compound statements is we are influenced by the words in those statements and our personal beliefs and biases. Fix a little grammar issue there. Words influence us. They are very powerful in doing that. If they weren't, then there would be no such thing as songs. But when you're trying to determine the truth value of something, those words can influence you unintentionally. And we want to avoid that because truth value from a logic perspective is independent of our beliefs and biases. As such, to remove the unintentional effect of these words, we use symbols instead. This way, we can analyze the truth values of compound statements based solely on their structures and the truth values of the simple statements that they contain. Translation. We're going to remove all the things that could unintentionally influence what you perceive as the truth value of a statement, because the truth value of a statement is not based on perception. It's based on objectivity, not subjectivity. So we're about to turn everything into symbols. Don't worry, it'll be a nice, slow introduction, and everything's going to be okay. So let's start with simple statements, because simple statements are the building blocks for compound statements, and there's an infinite number of simple statements that we could create. My brain is wondering if that statement is true, but there's a lot of them. So how do we symbolize or represent symbolically simple statements? And the answer is really quite simple. A simple statement is always represented by a single lowercase letter, almost like a variable, almost. These letters should be announced at the beginning of any problem, either by the author, whoever wrote the question, or the reader, because sometimes you'll have to say, there's a simple statement, I'm going to give it a name. For example, For reasons not clear to me, and I did research this and I threw it up in a Facebook group to see what happens, the most common letters to use when representing simple statements are P and Q, although any lowercase letters will suffice. But the defaults are P, Q, and if you need another one, R. If you need another one, S. I don't know why it starts at P. Hopefully I can find out the answer to that. For example, we could say P is the statement, my name is Oliver. And Q is the statement, I am a Chihuahua. And R is the statement, I like to nap. It really doesn't matter what lowercase letters you use. As long as they represent simple statements, it's good to go. But again, the default, and you'll see this in the homework and on test usually, is P and then Q and then R. Now, as far as connectives, there are special symbols reserved for them. So there's really only 5 symbols that we're going to see, 4 for connectives and 1 for negation. Just as a reminder, our 4 connectives are and, or, if then, and if and only if. And the names of those are conjunction, disjunction, conditional, and biconditional. So what are their symbols? Henceforth, the symbol for the word and for a conjunction will look like an uppercase A without the line through it. So it looks like an arrow pointing upwards. Isn't that right, Oliver? So yeah, it's the arrow pointing upwards. The symbol for the connective or for a disjunction is the same as the symbol for the connective and, except upside down. So it looks like an arrow pointing down, or a V. Now it is very easy to get those two mixed up. Just remember, the one for and kind of looks like an A without the line across, and the one for or, you just turn it upside down. The symbol for a conditional for the phrase if then is an arrow pointing to the right. Now, there are contexts where it can be pointing to the left, but ours will always point to the right. And a biconditional, the connective if and only if, is a double-headed arrow. You need to know these 4 symbols and the connectives that they represent. and their names. But more importantly, you need to know that the up arrow means and, the down arrow means or, the arrow pointing to the right, I should say arrowheads for up and down, for and or. The arrow pointing to the right is the symbol for if then, and the double-headed arrow is a symbol for a biconditional. That one's easy to remember because the prefix bi means two, and it's an arrow with two heads. Now, negation is not technically a connective because it does not connect two simple statements. However, we do need a symbol to represent the negation of a simple statement. The symbol for negation is a tilde, little squiggle, and it's not usually that large. If you were typing it on my keyboard, it's to the left of the 1. You have to hit shift to get to it. But this is called a tilde, T-I-L-D-E. That's the punctuation mark it is. But we can just say negation for it. I guess we can leave that there. So as we move forward, we're going to be seeing problems that are both presented to us in words and in symbols. But the ones that are given to us in words will have to be translated into symbols. We'll take a look at a few examples in this video, but in the next 2 videos, we'll look at some more in-depth examples. And we're going to use the same simple statements that we had before, aren't we, Oliver? Yes, we are. P, my name is Oliver. Q, I am a Chihuahua. And R, I like to nap. All right, so we're going to translate the following compound statements into symbols. Should say compound statements. I'm not going to bother to pluralize the word statement. All right, my name is Oliver and I am a Chihuahua. Now, when you are translating compound statements to symbols, the first thing you should look for is the connective. Where's the connective in this statement? It is the word and. And what is the symbol for and? It's the one that looks like a capital A, as in A for and, except it doesn't have a line in the middle. Now you have to represent the simple statements. All of your connectives will have one expression on either side of it, usually a single letter, but later it'll be more than that. So to figure out what to put on each side of the and symbol, the conjunction, if you will, literally look on the left and right sides of the word and. On the left side of the word and is the simple statement, my name is Oliver. On the right side is the simple statement, I am a Chihuahua. And how are we representing my name is Oliver with a lowercase p? And how are we representing I am a Chihuahua with a lowercase q? So the symbolic translation of my name is Oliver and I am a Chihuahua is P conjunction Q. You can also say P and Q. It's just shortened to say and. Technically it's a conjunction sign, but P and Q would be sufficient as how you would read this. Of course, if you didn't know what P or Q represented, then you wouldn't know what that sentence means. You would just know that it's a conjunction with undefined simple statements. All right, let's take a look at the next one. If I am a Chihuahua, then I like to nap. You like to nap, don't you? Yes, he does. If I am a Chihuahua, then I like to nap. Again, when you're translating a compound statement to symbols, the first thing you should look for is the connective. Where's the connective in this statement? The connective is, it's the only connective that's split. It's like a split connective. There's an if, a bunch of words, followed by then, and a bunch of words. And what is the symbol for if then? Symbol for a conditional is an arrow pointing to the right. Then you have to figure out what goes on either side of it. The thing that goes on the left side of the arrow is the simple statement that, the statement that follows the if. The statement that follows the if is I am a Chihuahua, and symbolically that is Q. The object to the right of the arrow is the statement that follows then. I like to nap is R. So the symbolic representation of the compound statement, if I am a Chihuahua, then I like to nap, is Q pointing to R. Now you can read that Q pointing to R. You can read it Q conditional R. You can unpackage the symbol for the conditional and say, if Q, then R. Any of those are okay. I'll usually just say Q pointing to R. Let's take a look at the last one. I like to nap, or my name is not Oliver. Let's start by finding the connective. Where's the connective? The or. And what is the symbol for or? The upside down conjunction sign. It looks like a V. All right, so, and now that we found that, we have to look on both sides of the or to see what statements we have. What's on the left? What's on the right? On the left side of the word or is the statement, I like to nap, and symbolically in this problem, that is are. But what's on the right side? My name is not Oliver. Well, the simple statement P is my name is Oliver, but if you'll notice, this is the negation of P. P, my name is Oliver. Well, let's put it in the either or context. Either my name is Oliver or my name is not Oliver. So my name is not Oliver is the negation of P. And when you write the negation of a simple statement, you simply write the tilde in front of it. That's not a good tilde. And there are a variety of ways to read this. You could read it R or not P. You could read it R disjunction, negation P, R disjunction not P, R or negation P. I would probably just say R or not P. It's just better to say the shorter words, but just keep in mind that those symbols do have specific names, the V being a disjunction. All right, we're going to translate some more compound statements into symbols in the next video because I think Ali wants to go outside.